Hello guys, welcome back to Filmy Fool, all things pop culture right here. Today we are doing a book review. This is Keigo Higashino's book, The Japanese Thriller Master. This is Guilt by Higashino. I have been a huge fan of Higashino from the time I read Suspect X, and I think I can safely say read every book that has been translated to English. This is a very unique book in itself because the route that it takes for building the thriller and the mystery is very different from most of the books that you would have read. Starts off very strongly. There is a murder up front and you are trying to figure out what's going on. Guilt is not a book that brings out one of the recurring detectives, but is book one of Detective Godai's series. So this is a new detective, hence you start off not knowing what Godai's approach is. You do not have anything to fall back on, and hence everything is building up right now. To my surprise, in about the first 80 odd pages, 70 to 80 pages, there is a confession. And from that point on, I am wondering what is going on. It is a fascinating experience to begin with, but about 40-50 pages down, not really as hard-hitting or crisp. The pace is lethargic and there seems to be a loop that the characters are in. And as a reader, you know something's not right and there are instances that you may pick up on, but the characters take much longer to pick up on those or figure those out, or till they are laid out completely. Hence, it becomes slightly boring. You cannot move through that part with the usual pace that I have read Higashino books. This portion is probably the slowest that I have ever read in a Keigo Higashino book. When everything gets connected towards the end, there are a couple of details that kind of blow your mind because they were very innocuous details when they were showed initially, when they were given at the initial stage. And on one of them, I was wondering why something like this is being shared like a random thing, and you really don't think people would go to that kind of level. But when it gets connected later on, it feels really worth it and it's a surprise. Overall, this is not a book that I'd recommend as one of his bests. This is not his worst book either, but on my Goodreads, you'd see 4 stars. That's because you cannot do 3.2 stars, 3.25 stars on Goodreads. That's where it'll land for me. It just tells you how good the start and how good the end are for the middle half of the book not being great or being monotonous. It still is a good read overall, and hence I'd say that if you've read a lot of Higashino, then Guilt is something that you should give a try. But if you haven't, then there are plenty more books for you to read from Higashino. I'm just gonna give you the list. It's not a chronological order, it's just a random order that I'm giving you. Number 1, without a doubt, Devotion or Suspect X. There is already a Netflix film starring Kareena Kapoor on this. It's possibly just 30-40% there as to how good the book is. But going on this list, number 2 is Salvation of a Saint. I loved this book. And the third one of my favorites, actually, it's very difficult to choose, but Suspect X just takes the cake because of how thrilling it is. But Malice is beautiful writing. How seamlessly you can write beautifully and in depth of character in a thriller as well is Malice. This is number 3 on that list. Newcomer is also nice, which is number 4. Midsummer's Equation is also not bad, which would be 5. So all of these are definitely worth reading from Keigo Higashino. He is an absolute master when it comes to thrillers. These are my recommendations. If you haven't read a Keigo Higashino book, definitely go ahead and read those. If you have read these, then do give Guilt a try. If not, you have the list right here. Do give any of them a shot and you would love them, I assure you that. If you are into thrillers, Keigo Higashino is an author for you to really get into. You're gonna love it. If you've read Guilt, do let me know what you think. And if you've read any other Higashino books that I may have missed in the list of top 5 that I've loved, please do let me know. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. Please do subscribe, share, and tell your friends about this. This is Filmy Fool, all things pop culture. It would mean so much more to have all of you with me on this journey. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.